Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the inexplicable people's president. This is the story of a son who inherited his father's honesty and self-discipline, his mother's faith in goodness and deep kindness, to become a true visionary and a humble humanitarian. Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in action, said the missile man who dared us to dream. With quite a few anecdotes that elucidates his illustrious life, it seems that we all know everything we need to know about the people's president. Abdul Kalam was a scientist destined by failures and a leader, thriving the young generation to draw from his inexhaustible divinity and wisdom. He was a man of principles and a simple Indian with no worldly belongings or possessions, but owned a few possessions, courts, his beloved veena, and a few collection of books. He is a true inspiration to the youth of our nation, prompting to dream and igniting billions of minds. If you want to shine like a sun, first burn like a sun. Raised up in a destitute family and selling newspapers in the small town of Rameshwaram, Kalam grew up to become the president of world's largest democracy. His work have left an indelible mark on the youth. Early life. Awul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931 to Jainulabdin Marakayar and Ashama in Rameshwaram on Pamban Island, Tamil Nadu. His father owned a ferry that took Hindu pilgrims back and forth Rameshwaram and Dhanushkoti, and he was the imam of a local mosque, a devout Muslim who maintained friendly relations with Hindu religious leaders and school teachers. He once told Kalam, "When troubles come, try to understand the relevance of your sufferings. Adversity always presents opportunities for introspection." Kalam was the youngest child in his family and had a secure childhood. His friends Ahmad Jalaluddin and Shamsuddin had greatly influenced him, making all the differences in his later life. As a boy, he used to sell newspapers to support his studies. Kalam was a hard-working student with a strong desire to learn, fascinated by the mysteries of sky and flight of birds, determined to ascend into the sky one day. When his parents realized his great passion for learning, they sent him to school. His teacher, Ayadurai Solomon, was an ideal guide for an anxious mind uncertain of the possibilities waiting afar. He used to say, "To succeed in life and achieve results, you must understand and master three mighty forces: desire, belief, and expectation." After completing his education at the Schwartz Higher Secondary School, Ramanathapuram, Kalam went on to attend St. Joseph's College, from where he graduated in physics in 1945. Later, in 1955, he did his aerospace engineering in Madras Institute of Technology. Apparently, he had two alternative job opportunities: career in Air Force and job in Ministry of Defense. However, he almost failed to realize his dream of becoming a fighter pilot because he was ranked 9th in the qualifiers and the IAF only had 8 slots. Career. In 1960, after graduating from MIT, Kalam joined the Aeronautical Development Establishment of the Defense Research and Development Organization as a scientist. He started his career by designing an indigenous hovercraft Christian Nandi after the bull ridden by Lord Shiva. However, the project was met with controversies and was shut. Kalam was also part of the Incospar committee working under Vikram Sarabhai, the renowned space scientist. In 1969, he was transferred to the Indian Space Research Organization, where he was the project director of India's first satellite launch vehicle, which successfully deployed the Rohini satellite in near-Earth orbit in July 1980. In 1965, Kalam started working on an independent scalable rocket project at DRDO, and in 1969, Kalam received government approval and expanded the project. In the 1970s, Kalam also ran two projects, Project Devil and Project Valiant, which attempted to use the technology from the successful SLV project to develop ballistic missiles. although the coalition cabinet disagreed. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi approved secret funds that were allocated for these aerospace projects under the leadership of Kalam. Abdul Kalam is popularly known as the Missile Man of India for his role in the development of ballistic missile and space technology. His research and educational leadership brought him great laurels and prestige in the 1980s. Kalam played a major part in developing many missiles under the mission, including Agni, an intermediate-range ballistic missile, Prithvi, the surface-to-surface missile, Trishul, the tactical co-vehicle, Akash, surface-to-air defense. Although the projects have been criticized for mismanagement and cost-time overruns. From July 1992 to December 1999, Kalam was the chief scientific advisor to the Prime Minister and Secretary of the DRDO Research. Pokhran-2 nuclear test was conducted by India during this period. This was the first test since the original nuclear test by India in 1974. Kalam played a significant role in this program. Kalam believed that technology should have multiple uses for the benefit of wider society. He used carbon composite materials designed for Agni to make calipers for polio patients, reducing the weight of the calipers. He played a pivotal role in providing cutting-edge medical services to ordinary people at affordable prices and bringing high-quality medical services to rural areas through telemedicine projects. Presidency. Kalam served as the 11th President of India, succeeding K.R. Narayanan, serving from 25 July 2002 to 25 July 2007. On 10th July 2002, the National Democratic Alliance, which was in power at the time, expressed that they would nominate Kalam for the presidency, and both the Samajwadi Party and Nationalist Congress Party backed his candidacy. On 18th June, Kalam filed his nomination papers in the Indian Parliament. Voting for the presidential elections began on 15 July 2002 in the Parliament and State Assembly. The media claimed that the election was unilateral and that Kalam's victory was a foregone conclusion. Kalam became the 11th President of the Republic of India in an easy victory and moved into the Rashtrapati Bhavan after he was sworn in on 25 July. During his term as President, he was affectionately known as the People's President. Kalam was criticized for inaction in 20 of the 21 clemency petitions presented to him during his tenure. Article 72 of the Constitution of India authorizes the President of India to pardon prisoners sentenced to death and suspend or commute their sentences. Kalam took only one act of mercy during his 5-year term as President and rejected his request. Subsequently, rapist Dhananjay Chatterjee was hanged. In 2005, he also took the controversial decision to impose President's rule in Bihar. In September 2003, in an interactive session in PGI Chandigarh, Kalam supported the need of uniform civil code in India, keeping in view the population of the country. On June 20, 2007, at the end of his term, Kalam expressed his willingness to consider a second term in office. However, 2 days later, he decided not to contest the presidential election again. Later on, nearing the expiry of the term of the 12th President Pratibha Patil on 24 July 2012, media reports in April claimed that Kalam was likely to be nominated for a second term. On 18 June 2012, Kalam declined to contest the 2012 presidential poll and said that he preferred to teach students. Teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. If the people remember me as a good teacher, that will be the biggest honor for me. After leaving office, Kalam became a visiting professor at the IIMs and honorary fellow of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Professor of Aerospace Engineering at Anna University, and then adjunct at many other academic and research institutions across India. In 2011, Kalam was criticized by civil groups over his stand on the Kudankulam nuclear power plant. He supported the establishment of the plant and was accused by the local people. The protesters were hostile to his visit as they saw him as a pro-nuclear scientist and were unimpressed by the assurances he provided regarding the safety features of the plant. In May 2012, Kalam launched a program for the youth of India called the What Can I Give movement, with a central theme of defeating corruption. Vision. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was always keen on encouraging the students in India to take active interest in the emerging technologies. He often spoke to children and the country's youth, inspiring them to think big in life. Kalam strongly advocated an action plan, Vision 2020, to develop India into knowledge superpower and a developed nation by 2020. He had strong belief in the power of science to resolve society's problems. His 4 mantras for success was great aim, acquire knowledge, hard work, perseverance. Religious and spiritual views. Kalam wondered why some people tend to see science as something that takes man away from God. For him, science had always been the path to spiritual enrichment and self-realization. An enduring aspect of his legacy is the integration he embodied in appreciating the various elements of India's many spiritual and cultural traditions. Awards and honors. The Government of India honored him with the Padma Bhushan in 1981 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1990 for his work with ISRO and DRDO and his role as a scientific advisor to the government. In 1997, Kalam received India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, for his contribution to the scientific research and modernization of defense technology in India. In April 2009, he became the first Asian to be bestowed with the Hoover Medal, America's top engineering prize, for his outstanding contributions to public service. He also received honorary doctorates from about 40 universities. Writings. Kalam has written several inspirational books aimed at motivating Indian youth. Notable among them are his autobiography, Wings of Fire, and Ignited Minds. He has written poems in Tamil as well. Death. On 27 July 2015, Kalam traveled to deliver a lecture on creating a livable planet Earth at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, where he collapsed during his lecture and was confirmed dead of a sudden cardiac arrest. On 30 July 2015, the former president was laid to rest at Rameshwaram's P. Karambu ground with state honors. India reacted to Kalam's death with intense sorrow and rumination, condolences and countless tributes. The Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam National Memorial was built in memory of Kalam by the DRDO in P. Karambu in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in July 2017. Interesting facts. New bacteria named after Kalam. Scientists at NASA have named a new organism discovered by them after the much-loved APJ Abdul Kalam. Solibacillus calamil has been found only on the International Space Station and not on Earth. Veela Island, a national missile site in Odisha, was renamed Abdul Kalam Island in September 2015. Conclusion. Kalam was a simple Indian patriot whose story ended with him. For he has no possession but God's providence. The bloodline of his great-grandfather, Abdul grandfather Pakir and father Jainulabdin ended with Abdul Kalam leaving behind enough to be thought and done for greater good. He was the man who believed that our country lies in the hand of youth and tried to bring youth in the front line. He was an instrumental force in the realm of science and technology, an outstanding visionary, and his love for India was undisputedly supreme. Whenever India takes a step in science, especially space technology, our country must remember him. We must always be obliged to his values and teachings. Apparently, the youth of our country are indebted to Kalam. Let us unanimously make his vision and dreams a reality. The enigmatic gem of our nation, Dr. Kalam will always be remembered as the youth icon, President of the Youth.